Hello, lovely ones, and welcome back. Kimberly Benjamin, who'd have been here, and I wanted to address another question that you had, which was, is it possible to reconnect, and what does that look like? So without cheating, the answer to that is yes, it is possible to reconnect. That's the short answer. What does that look like? It looks different for different couples, different relationships, but what it does look like is it looks like an honest sharing of communication. You figure out what it is that you want and you share your wants. He figures out what it is that he wants and he shares those. And you actually do like a match to see like how closely you can come to meeting his wants and he can come to meeting your wants. And I know that sounds very altruistic or fairy tale, and you're probably thinking, well, like, yeah, if I could do that, like I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even be needing advice or suggestions. It's really that simple. So often what happens to create the turmoil and crisis in our marriage is that we have expectations that are not being met. Surprisingly, he has expectations that are not being met. But instead of being able to honestly communicate those, we typically resort to things that defend us because we're feeling wounded, we're feeling unheard, we're feeling unloved, we're feeling neglected. I learned this the hard way. We rehearse all of these wonderful things we want to say to our husband, but we don't understand that what we're really saying is, I'm unhappy and it's your fault. And even when we try to share what we're unhappy about, all he hears is, it's your fault. Now, this is not to say that he is not like, the biggest roach that ever hit the planet and that you don't deserve to be angry and that it's not a good situation for you. In that situation, in that case, then you probably already know this. And the best thing I can do is to support you in creating the life that you want to have. But if you are married to someone that you truly love, even though you're very angry, you're very hurt, you feel very neglected, and you truly want to make it work, I want to let you know that that is possible. But it requires first that you come back into you. It requires that you stop keeping a list of do's and don'ts, of rights and wrongs, of whose turn it is. It requires an enormous amount of courage to be vulnerable, understanding that you may not get back what it is that you're asking for. It requires that you learn how to say no. It requires that you learn confidently that you are worthy of great love and great passion and all the things that you want. And what you want is just what you want. And there is no good or bad. There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong. It requires that you love yourself first. And I know this is a whole big long list, and you're probably wanting just very specific bullet points. What I can tell you is that the absolute best thing that you can do right now to reconnect in your marriage is to figure out what it is that you want, what it is you expect him to give, what it is you expect him to provide, what it is you're willing to give, what it is you're willing to live with, what it is you can't live without. In other words, when you get really, really clear about who you are and your value and your worth and what you can live with and what you can't live without, it's a foundation. It's a place to start. It's not about the things that he's not doing or the things that he should do or the things that he could do or being all wrapped up in like him. It's about learning to wrap yourself up in you. What do you want, lovely one? What do you want? Maybe it's support financially. Maybe it's support emotionally. Maybe it's affection. Maybe it's passion. Maybe it's freedom. Maybe it's independence. Maybe it's a whole bunch of things. But until you're very clear about what those things are, it's really impossible to move forward and to ask for them. So again, short answer, yes, you definitely can reconnect. And what that looks like is you being content and happy and joyful. What that looks like is you sharing with the partner, your partner in life, those things that are most important to you. and him sharing with you those things that are most important to him. And yes, it can be done. So ask me specific questions. I'll be happy to address those for you. And just know there is hope. You can do it. There are several different steps that you can take, and I can help you through that process. Until then, I'm going to say it tout à l'heure and bisous.